Hello. This year, 2026, we want to make it a very good year. We want to make it a year whereby we'll become more successful than we have always been. We want to be that man that achieves something different as more than he has always achieved. And that we intend to do by undergoing self mastery in this year. My name is Osawaru, and this is Asium TV. I'm also dedicated to understanding myself more, doing things on the best way, more than I've always done for the past years till 2026. The reason why it is important is, as a man or as a person, it is important that we understand who we are, understand where we stand, and understand where we're going and what we need to do to get there. And one of those things I've noticed is self mastery. That if we understand self mastery, we can move from the point we are now and to the point we want to be. And that is why I started this year as a series to say in this year 2026, we're not going to be talking about many things. We're going to be talking about self mastery. And on that point, we make it a duty to highlight what is the first thing to do. And what is the first thing to do is to understand self. You need to understand yourself. You need to take out a pen and a barrel to say, who am I? What is my strength? What is my weakness? Then, when you understand your strength, we now said you're going to double down on your strength. You're going to double down on your strength. You're going to continue to work hard on showcasing that strength, improving the strength that you have. And that is important. Then we'll go to the other side, your weaknesses. On your weaknesses, you divide it into two. What are the weaknesses I need to work on, and what are the weaknesses I need to kill? We have also highlighted that there are some weaknesses that you can work on and it will improve. There are some weaknesses that you need to kill. Like, for instance, the weaknesses of being a conversational person, your ability to communicate, you need to work on that. If you are not a good communicator, you need to work on it. And myself also, for the past 4 months, I've also been working on that as well. How can I communicate better? How can I say it better? How can I show feeling and warmth on what I'm saying in order for the other person to feel comfortable and show understanding and show empathy? That is what communication is all about. Then we can also begin to talk about what qualities do you have that you need to kill. Like, some people will say they are very angry. Yes, there is no way you can control the anger apart from to kill the anger. If you're an angry person, there's no business, you don't have any business talking about, oh, I'm a very uh, uh, angry person. Some people say, you know who I am, or the vessel, those kind of saying statement is not what we discuss as in self mastery classes. We discuss that if you are such a person, that character, that personality need to die in 2026. You don't need to continue to show anybody or be proud that you are a very angry person. You need to find a way to kill that character, or else it's going to stop you from getting to where you're going. There is nobody that get to where it's going by being angry. The only people that get to where they are going are people who have understand how to say it even when they are angry, how to see walk through it and get the job done. Those are people that really will get results in this life we're now in, whereby everything you have done, everything you have said is easy for anybody to know. We have social media, we have family life. It's easier for anybody to get uh, information about you. And when they found one piece of information somewhere where you were talking angrily or behaving angrily or doing things in an angry manner, you're already wasting your chances of breaking into that other phase of life. Imagine you getting a contract and the person saw you and said, oh, you are the one that was talking about that you are a very angry person, that when you are angry you can do something stupid, and that's stop you from getting that contract. How will you feel? If you're getting a job, a good job that is going to take you out of the current position you are to a higher level, and then they tell you that because you have made that statement that you're a very angry person, it means you cannot work on that pressure. It means you cannot tame your anger when somebody offends you. then they're not going to give you the job. I'm sure you will feel very upset and very. That is why you need to start working on those kind of character in order for you to build a very good reputation on the street and on the market. Okay. We also talk about character like a thief. Some people steal and steal from others and they're happy about it. But the people that they steal from are not going to be are happy. They're going to keep it from in their mind for long. Just imagine that somebody that you stole from is now the one interviewing you. That is awkward, right? You're already in a spot whereby you need to now say, "Oh, I am sorry," or "Okay, what can I do? How can I do this? How can I make up for it?" And then you begin to now feel somewhere. And just imagine that, okay, you stole a very little amount of money, and obviously at the moment those money is finished now. You're now looking for a breakthrough to the next phase of life, and then the person that is going to give you that breakthrough is the person you stole from. So stealing is a character that you need to also kill. We highlight a lot of things and we can go on and on character we need to kill. Like if you are not honest, if you are not honest at all, that's a character you need to kill. Then there are characters that you can work on. If you are a person that procrastinates, you can also watch my other video where we talk about procrastination and all of that. If you procrastinate a lot, what prevents you from working hard on, say you want to do something, you already getting to do it instead of procrastinating. That's character, obviously. That's character you can work on in order for you to make improvements in your life. Character you can work on. That okay, when you work on this, you can actually make progress. We just said it now. Character like procrastination. I think that if you have a good work ethic, you really working hard. Sometimes is a good trait that you can really sell to any investor that you a good worker. And then you will now also have to learn to work smart. Then you also learn to work smart as well. Yeah, if you know what I mean. There are two ways you work smart. Number one, you are working smart in leveraging technology, leveraging facility available in order for you to get your work done. The fact that you are the world's strongest man does not mean you should be lifting everything when there is a forklift. The fact that you have speed, you can run, does not mean you should run when there is a car to drive to work. So those are when we talk about you working smart. Now we're talking about the era of artificial intelligence. Like for instance, this is my setup studio, my this the podcast setup that I have now. It was as a result of AI that I found out how can I connect my phone to my computer, whereby the microphone in my computer will be smart, which is obviously smart enough than if I connect my microphone to my phone and then put the lapel to do it. The internet gave me the answers. Do this, do the put it this way, and then you get results. That is you leveraging on technology to get you smarter instead of you just okay, let me use my phone, let me do this, let me do that. You're doing a lot of things. Obviously, I've tried a lot of things. Or thing. I said, okay, let me ask ChatGPT, what, how can I do this? Whereby I'm using because my phone is obviously Samsung S3, S25 Ultra, which is the picture quality is superb, is equal to a Lumens. Okay, I said, okay, since I have this phone, I can there should be a way. So the hard work that I put in is for me to think of what I have now and say, okay, how do I put this what I have now into good use? You get it? So I already have this phone. I already bought this microphone whereby I attach to the laptop where I do live on the laptop on Facebook and also on TikTok live. And I was thinking to myself, how can I use this phone, connect, synchronize all of them, and then put it to good use? And then they told me, okay, do it like that is working smart. Instead of me to now say, okay, let me invest in a full set of equipment. Let me begin to now attend class, go and meet this person to show me these basic things. I've really done it. That is what we say when we say if you're a hard worker in this 2026, is good, but you need to work smart by leveraging on what you already have available to you. Leverage on what is already available to you to use to make your job better and the result will rise exponentially. Okay. Then we're also talking about working smarter as well. When you get the money, What do you do with the money? That's another point we need to also discuss about. So while we are saying you work hard, work smart, we make the money. What do you do with the money? How do you invest so that your money can also be giving you some dividends instead of you put let spending and all of that? How do you then create a spending culture? For me, it's easy. My spending culture is first of all, money comes, I invest. I take out my investment money first, pay rent, then we live up on the rest. So that at the end of the month or at the end of the year, I don't end up spending all the money. Some people, yeah, do feed first, save, spend money first, pay first, then they'll be looking for what to invest. I don't do that because of my experiences, because it's really easy for us to not have money to invest because we have spent all of that, all of the money up. So that is why I make sure that immediately I get the money, the first thing I do is to invest my money, invest a reasonable portion. I was discussing with my friend. I said, by the grace of God, I don't longer keep money for feeding because I'm sure I should be able to feed without having to stress, no matter what. Like we are here in the UK, I do bank work whereby they pay every week. So imagine if I get £200 every week. That means everything about feeding is settled, and little bills that come in between should be settled, right? So once I get my salary comes in, I first of all remove 25%, which I have dedicated for investment of the money, then pay rent, and the rest you pay. Obviously, a lot of us own credit card debt. You need to pay some portion of it. You pay all of that. You pay council tax. You are settled with that. Then the the good thing about it, if you don't do it that day and you decide to leave your money somewhere, you're definitely going to have something to spend it on. And the way the system is built here is you think things are affordable, or you buy few things and £50 is gone. You think, oh, this is £1, this is £1 99, this is £2 40, this is, before you know it, you are spending £40. If you decide to go and buy clothes, you say, okay, this first set of t-shirt is about £8 99. Oh, it's affordable. Then you buy this, you add that, you add this, you add that. Before you know it, you already spend about £100, and it will be few things. That is why I've understand that okay, the best thing for me to do once the money comes is for me to first of all take out my investment money, keep it no matter what. So that at the end of the year, after you do your check and balances for the year, you will also be happy that at least you have something save up. Imagine if you are saving £500 every month, and at the end of the year you have £6,000. That's enough for you to now put on investment. To now say, okay, I'm going to now invest this so that this one can be bringing in investment. So not only because this is the UK setup, if you are also living in Nigeria or any other part of Africa, that is how you should do it, no matter how small it is. Even if you are receiving 100,000, it may be small, but if you keep 30,000 a way of savings to invest, 30,000 in 10 months is already 300,000. In a year, is already 360,000. We should then put on investment. Like, let's say, for instance, you put on fixed deposit, which is about, let's say, 15% every year. That's already over 1% every month. So 1% of your 360,000 is about 3,000. Okay. So if you are getting 3,000 something from your investment from 300,000, at the end of the year, you already have like about 40,000. So the question is, what business will you do in your country that will give you 1% every month or 15% in a year? Even house rent, if you build a house and you put rent on it, I'm not sure your house will give you 15% return every year, depending on how much, no matter how much you build the house, no matter how much you build the house. Yeah. If there's no way it's going to give you 15% per annum. So any house that they rent for 10 million, that means it's not going to worth less than 200 million. So what is the percentage of a house that is being rented for 10 million? You should know how much it's being used, it costs to build. So, like for instance, most of our bungalow back in Benin is around 35 billion, 30 million, and you rent it out for 1 million for a year. How many percentage is that? Okay, that's what we are saying. So, if you have small money and you intend to see, okay, how do I invest this money? What, in my own opinion, in my own advice, what you need to do is to put it in fixed deposit so that it can be generating some income. The money is safe, it's generating money so that you cannot compound it. Then you have enough money. If, okay, let me give you an instance. If you have 50 million in a fixed deposit account that pays monthly, I'm sure you'll be getting like 500,000 every month. If you begin to now build house with 500,000 investment every month, in 5 years, I'm sure you will have a dream house, your dream house. If you begin to invest, okay, you can actually even, let's say you want to roof the house. You want to roof the house, it's about 8 million for roofing the house. You don't have the money now. You can actually get a loan of 8 million and say, I'll pay you 500,000 every month for 16 months, which you have the money, you pay. So it is easy for us to do little things and get massive results than to do massive things and expect to get massive results. So results is a fraction of effort. That's what I'm trying to say. Result is a fraction of effort. Not effort is a fraction of result. The effort you put into something, the result is going to be a fraction of it. For instance, let me make it easy. If you have 1 million view, 1 million follower, your video view is possibly going to be about 300k per view. It's going to be about 200k, 300k thereabouts. Hardly can you have 1 million view and be getting 500,000 view on your video. It's very difficult except you have a dedicated fans who will be reposting your video for people to watch. But if you don't, you rely on your fans watching your video. That's the amount you really, if you really look at, even if they are reposting it, if you have a million follower, your view should be around 300,000, maximum 500,000. You only see a million view because you have a million follower, except you have people who are reposting. That also means that it's really going to be a fraction of the effort that are put in. If you have 500,000 reposts on a video, that means 500,000 view first, 500,000 reposts, you possibly going to hit a million. But when you look at those reposts, people who repost, they also repost it to their follower. Now, if you combine all the effort that is being put in, you see that the views you have is a fraction of that effort that you put in. That is how everything else is. If you think you're going to build a house for 1 billion and then you're going to rent it out for how much, it's going to be a fraction of that investment that you're going to get as return on investment. That is how everything else in life matters. If you are reading for a course, you want to write the exam, you are definitely going to write a fraction of everything you have read. So 100%, 100 marks from a whole course is already a fraction of that. And then you struggle to score 70, which is also another fraction of the 100. And obviously, what you actually written is almost, if you want to score 70, that's the beauty of it. If you really want to score 70, yeah, that means you need to actually put in an effort equal to times 3 of that 70 mark. That means what you actually have written would have been on a normal day giving you about 200 plus in results before you score that 70. So in a situation whereby you have written few things and you expect to score 70, it doesn't work. You have to write above, exceedingly above that 70 mark before you score that 70. That is all, my friend. Welcome back. We are continuing on the topic of self-discipline for the month of April. Self-discipline is an integral part of self-mastery, whereby you are doing what you plan to do and doing it now, not procrastinating it for the future. And we have made the point clear that procrastination is a thief of our future time. It means the future you want to enjoy when you are old, you want to relax, you want to enjoy your money, you want to spend your time with your loved one and all of that. But when you are young, that's not when you should be doing that. I see a lot of people spending their youthful age in staying at home, in staying with their family, in staying with their loved ones, in doing all they could. But the question is that what is needed from a young man at the age? In my own experience, when you are young, that's when you're full of energy, and those energy should be put into self-development, making money and investing the money. Time is not money. is time you use to look for money, and time does not wait for anybody. At every time you waste on top trying to do things that should be for the future and do it now, it therefore means you are taking away your future time and you are spending it now. And when the future comes, I'm sure that is when it will ask you, what have you done? And that's why Bonaboy said you go there, explain tire. And in Edo language too, we said a man tried. If he doesn't make it, is most times it's not his fault because he tried his best. Yes, a man that tries his best at every given time of his life possibly may not have make it as the popular say, but if he knows he tried his best and achieved the best he could possibly get, I think that's a point of pride for the Edo people. Me as an Edo person, my pride is always trying to do the best at every given time and take pride in the best I do, not procrastinating and then begin to look for areas to then change the narrative as if I have done my best, whereas I know deep down I never did my best. That is why I'm dedicating my time to also educate other people that at every given time of your life, there are things you should be doing. There are things you should be engaging yourself in doing and then putting in all your time. There is time for everything, in which we have also learned from different religions, houses, and books, especially from the Bible, where they say there's time under the sun to it's time to marry, a time to marry, a time to give birth, a time to sow, and a time to reap, and then a time to give gift and a time to collect. That also shows that there's a timing in everything. So if you choose the time to reap for a time to sow, or a time to sow for a time to reap, you have missed it, although you are putting effort as well. That give us another perspective to effort on the wrong direction. Effort on the wrong direction in itself does not really produce result that you want. For instance, if this time April is the time to sow, and then instead of you sowing, you are now looking for it harvesting, and at December in which you should be harvesting, you are not thinking of you sowing. You have missed the direction, you have missed the time, you have missed the mark. That means all your effort have been on the wrong direction. And then no matter how the speed you applied on the wrong direction, you're still going to end up in the wrong place. That is why it's important that we apply pressure to the right direction. Steadily, steadily, slow and steady win the race, they say. That means if you are steady and you are steady and on the right direction, you're definitely going to get to the right direction, to the right place. Whereas no matter how fast you are on the wrong direction, you end up in the wrong place. However, it's not always too late to make a U-turn. And that is why self-mastery is important. You are not going to do self-mastery once in a lifetime, but instead you're going to do self-mastery every day of your life. That's why I've developed a system that you can do it. Number one, every week you need to take one day off in which you're going to think about yourself. If possible, spend some few hours with yourself only, thinking about the week that passed, what you have done wrong, what you have done right, what changes you need to make, decision that you make in the past week, how is it going? Do you need to re-strategize? Do you need to change some few things, add some few things? You need to look into that. And that you also have time to communicate within yourself. They call it intrapersonal communication. You need to find time to discuss within yourself of the things you have done. How does it affect you as a person? The road you are on, the career that you are building, how does it affect you as a person? How are you putting your best foot forward? How are you applying pressure at the right direction? For me, I usually see it as a way of check and balances about yourself, your future, your past, and the present. It's serve as a medium or an opportunity for you to now think about yourself, strategize, and think about what the future could mean. That is why it is important also that you take some time off to look inward and see if you are doing applying pressure at the right location on the right direction. You also will agree with me that no matter how you run, if you're not running on the right direction, you're definitely going to run amiss. You're going to end up in the wrong place. But there's never too late. No matter the age you are, it's never too late to make a U-turn. I've seen age people going back to school to get a degree and then pursue that career. I've seen people went to school, got the degree, who were doing well, turn back and said, I'm going to learn carpentry so that I can have a carpentry workshop, or I'm going to learn tailoring and I'm going to have a fashion business. A lot of people in Nigeria who are into fashion, they are not illiterate. Most of them read something different, but find a passion and say, okay, I make some money here. I need to go back to what I love doing. I have an in-law who is a lawyer after practicing, making some money, and then going back to invest in fashion, and then it's making it big. So the thing is, it's never too late. There's never a time that say, oh, my time has passed. Giving as an example, my wife is going back to school now after giving birth to a 10 years old daughter. You want to go and get a degree also and then add to his portfolio. Me too, I'm also still continuing to pursue education, whereby some people at their age of 25 years, they already are god masters, and then they are preparing for a PhD. So whereas a PhD student just finished, is doing well, just started to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to start doing mechanic. I want to open a mechanic workshop. I love cars. I like to refurbish car. I want to be doing car refurbishing. Whereas some other I say, okay, you know what, I want to become an event planner. So all this, you may say, not every all of this is side hustle. Some people are taking it very seriously and are putting in their best foot, applying the right pressure at the right location in order to change the trajectory of which their life is going. How do they get there is the question you should ask. How do they come about that U-turn of a trajectory and then move to the other direction and then begin to now move to the right direction as well? Those are questions you need to ask. How do people wake up and make decisions? And then that's why we say self mastery is a continuous thing. It's something you continue to do without having to say, okay, I've done it years ago. It's not a BSc that is okay, I've done it, then I have a degree, I'm moving on. It's a lifelong relationship with yourself that you begin to now observe. Like, for instance, you can also say, my relationship with my God, is it really good at the moment? Is he giving me the result I want? What can I do in order to have form a good relationship more with him? Then you continue to do, you redo that as well. You understand? So that is why in the African setting, you see that you go and do some more sacrifice again in order for you to form a good relationship with him. For those who are Christian, we say, really dedicate yourself. Then you need to go, you do all of that. Not because if you have done it some years ago, then you think it can carry you for a lifetime. It's the same way when you're doing self mastery. When you do self mastery, it gives you an opportunity to also think that sometimes you can get it right 4 years ago, 2 years ago, but what you get right 2 years ago is not right now. For instance, if you are doing, uh, let's say, last 5 years ago, you do agricultural sciences and you got a job, you are doing well, and now health technology is coming. Nothing prevents you from saying, okay, why not I give a data science, data engineer, event, no, what they call it, this tech courses a trial. Those are what you come up with when you now know where you are and where you want to be. I've seen it, like me, for instance, I'm learning the AI aspect of healthcare. I'm not trying to leave healthcare, but I'm also learning other things that could enhance the healthcare, whereby you have to now become an AI expert, a tech worker in the healthcare system. What do you need? You need to go back to school, you need to learn, you need to study, you need to come back again. That is also taking another step back so that you can get. It's like you are driving and then you suddenly discover that you're driving to the wrong direction. You need to put in on the reverse. Then you now get to the right lane and then continue on. You know you are not going to use the same speed you started the journey to reverse, and then you are not going to be on the same speed to take off on the new direction. So all of that will take time and some shake up in your life to begin to now reposition. Because obviously, when you discover you are going on the wrong direction, you need to apply your brake. That means your speed will slow down. You come to a halt. You put it on a reverse, and then you get to the right direction. You begin to accelerate. Then you zoom up. This in itself also going to play a part in our lives, whereby if you are making all of this move, all of this, you're going to now also remember that you are going to have some setback. People are going to see you as, what is it doing? But the question is, if you believe that your decision is correct and you are putting in the right pressure at the right time, you definitely are good to go. That is what self mastery is all about. You're not going to continue to say, okay, because I don't know what people are going to say. I don't know people that are counting on me, what my wife will say, what my children will go to say, how they go to feel. Yes, you need to put all that into place, into consideration. But that should not stop you from making that hard decision that you need to make. in order to get to the next phase of your life. If you let what people going to think, what they're going to say, to stop you from making that progress, it means you have not thoroughly done self-mastery. Because on self-mastery, we also have discussed that nobody's actually looking at you. You are the one thinking somebody's looking at you. Nobody actually cares. That's why you see that when something happens, the people talk about it 1 week, 2 weeks, then they move on with their life. If you wear a fine clothes and you pass, you think somebody that sees you is going to remember you for the next 6 months, 3 months. No, it's not going to remember you. It just seeing you there and off it goes. His mind is on another place. You are the one that is putting it on as if somebody has think about you as angel. So it's the same thing that happened in real life. Nobody is actually looking about you. As I'm here, I don't remember anybody. I don't remember what I saw yesterday. I don't remember anything that gone on in another man's life. Because I got a lot of things to think about. I got a lot of decision I need to make, a lot of reading I need to do, a lot of calculation I need to have my own time to be thinking about myself. You think I have time for another person? Or if you have time for another person, that means you have not really done self-mastery. So what we're saying is self-mastery work in two different ways. It works front, it works back. It means it allows you to know that you are the only one that is thinking about you and nobody is thinking about you. So when you're doing things, do it in that way that I'm the only one thinking about myself. Nobody's thinking about me. When you like way that announces, yeah. If you're at work, something is happening, they'll say it's your pin that is at stake. That's to tell you that nobody is thinking about you because you are the one that is thinking about yourself. If you run into problem, nobody is going to go to court for you. Nobody is going to go around taking their time to be defending you. You are the one that is going to be running around. And when they take your pin, you be the one in shit. Others will continue with their life. Nobody is going to gather money, pay money, and begin to say, okay, this they are going to now begin to fund your life. You are the one that is going to find out how you're going to continue living your life. That has to tell you, I'm just giving you an example to tell you that in this life we are, nobody is actually looking after each other. That is why in a developed society, everybody look to government because it's the duty of the government to look after the citizen, not it's duty of another citizen to look after the other citizen. So if you understand all these phenomena, you will understand that if you need to do something, you don't need to procrastinate. Get on with it. All you need to do is to be sure that you are making the right decision. Once you are sure, once you are happy that you have made the right decision, you are certain, run with it. Run with it. Now that takes us to how do we know if we are making the right decision? There's a phenomenon I've talked about in my other video. There's a phenomenon that you use by asking the why question. I've forgotten the name of the person that formulates the idea. We use it in leadership development. When I was doing my what do we call it? Service development course. When I was doing it, there is the question that we ask that if you want to ask, you have a question, you have a problem, you want to see how you can do it, you need to ask why at least 3 times. So let's say, for instance, you want to do a course in nursing. The first question you ask, why am I doing the course? If you have the answer, you ask why again. Let's say you say, why am I doing this course? You said, I've always wanted to be a nurse. The next question is, why do you want to be a nurse? Why? Because I'm passionate about it and I think it will be good for me. Then why are you passionate about it? So you should continue to ask why till you no longer have reason. Then that's when you now begin to ask, okay, is it now good for me to take this decision? I'm sure when you ask why are you passionate about it? You said, because it's easier for me to get job. I love the work. I love the okay. Why do you think it's easier for you to get job? Or why do you think you love the work? You see that the more you ask why, the more you are having various areas for you to ask why on. So the more you ask why, the more you are going to have various answer and various reasons for you to now continue to ask why on. Like I just give example now. You are passionate about it. It's easier for you to get job. It's something that I have always wanted. Now you have 3 areas that you to ask why. Why do you think it's easier to get job than other courses? Why are you passionate about being a nurse? Why do you love being a nurse? So you now say, okay, Because when I was growing up, I got to the hospital. I loved the way they attended to me, and there I make decisions that stick with me, that I need to be a nurse. Even as old as I have become now, I still want to be a nurse. Now, why do you think they attended to you the way they did? Because they love their job, they are passionate about it, they are enthusiastic about serving humanity. Why are they passionate and enthusiastic about serving them? So when you begin to ask why, many times before you make a decision, you see that making the right decision will take time and you will make the right one. Instead of you just rushing because others said it's good. Now you are make their decision based on your own conviction of legality and importance. Then it's difficult, therefore, for you to give up. It's difficult, therefore, for you to give up when you then want to do all of that. That is why it is important that no decisions should be made in haste. If you really have done self mastery, you will not make any decision in haste. You're going to make a decision based on facts, based on what you are come up with. Because as you continue to ask why, you are going to now begin to now look for evidence. You are going to do research. You are going to be researching within yourself and outside of yourself to find answers to questions that are being raised from you asking why. Sometimes they will say document it. Because of the advent of technology and how things have is like I'm doing now, I'm documenting my life. I'm documenting what I'm thinking about, what I'm documenting what I'm doing with my time. So instead of why they say it's better to write it down, but because of this, the life we now live, documenting by voice recording, by video recording has become more easier for us to do than re-documentation. You see, that is what like rewriting down. So it's also easier for you to type on a computer and say, okay, I'm typing all of this plan and saving it in Google Cloud, in Microsoft Cloud, so yeah, that you can access it every time and any time of your life. Then it also underscored the fact that okay, technology is also enhancing productivity. Instead of you not finding biro, begin to write it. But scientists have shown that when you write with paper and biro, it is more traditionally important to your brain function. That statement in itself, though, for me, I think is faulty because at the time of what they call it, psychological discovery, people find a relationship between writing and brain function. So I would prefer if you're writing an exam, if you are preparing for an exam whereby it involves writing, when you do that, you remember more. So that also means that if you are really taking a decision about your future, it's better you write with pen and biro. In doing that, you remember more. You may you may have to do all of that and say, okay, what is it? The phone also have paper and biro now. So if you say, okay, oh, what is now digital, I can actually type it and all of that. For me, I've experienced it that when you type, you don't really remember it as much when you write it. So I also have a phone that have notebook and a pen whereby you can write it. But however it is, you can also document by doing videos of yourself. It's not only fine-tuning your remembering skills, it's also fine-tuning your brain eye mouth relationship. You're also improving your communication. You're also improving how you speak, how you talk. In fact, it fascinates. You learn about yourself when you listen to your video. That is why for me, I respect those who really talk in their video, not only because they are dancing in their video, which although of course dancing video make more views. However, discussion videos, when you're talking in your videos, it shows the depth of your knowledge that you have upstairs, the kind of information that you really have upstairs. So that's why they say if you discuss with people, you'll be able to know how informative, how informed, how educated they are. It's not because a lot of people go to school, go get a degree, but they can't really communicate. That's a default on the African narrative. You can't be that when you go to school in the UK or in the US because communication is an integral part of life here. It's an integral part of life, and they value communication more than your technical skills. So People may argue that statement though, that oh no, they value more technical skill than more communication. I've been in this system whereby I have strong technical skills. Technical skill got you the job. Communication gets you going, stay in the job, getting promoted. That statement is a statement of fact. Technical skills work in get you promoted, get you going in a place like Nigeria or Africa setting, whereby they just need you to get the job going. There are people who are employed to do the talking and then they go. But when you understand that people who were employed to do the talking actually get more promoted and get more money than those who are technically sound and they are doing the job. That's why bank managers will get will get more promotion, will get more money. People who do personal investment, who are into communication aspect of the business, will definitely be paid more than the person who's really doing the job from the technical perspective. So that in itself is a default. So if you're still thinking, oh, it's better for me to just know how to do the job, which before I came to the UK, that's what I used to think as well. That, oh, be technically sound is all that you need to really get it done. But it's not. It's not. Be technically sound to get you the job. In fact, it will not even get you the job. Your ability to be communicative, be sound in communication, and know how to do all of this really will get you the job and get you going. Because on the interview, you are going to be attending to questions, and those questions are crafted in a way to help you to help them assess your level of flexibility and intellectuality, not because you know the longest femur is the longest bone in the body is femur. The hammer equals and malleus is the smallest bones of the body. Those they are not, nobody's going to ask you those technical questions. If you've been to interview in the UK, you know that the question they ask is actually borders around communication. That is why it's imperative that we begin to encourage our kids, our family members, everybody in the next generation to learn communication as well as they learn technical skills as well. I think that will really shape the future of the African child. Okay, we'll continue from this. We'll have a break now. We'll continue from here till I come your way next time. My name is Osawaro. This is my network. Is what is entails in life. We're going to continue from here. I remember your friend. My name is Osawaro. This is Aziam TV.